you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
Good evening and welcome to an A.H.A.D moment, the calm before the storm. I'm your host, Minister A.H.A.D, and with me we have Brother Fakil Abdul-Aziz and Lord Holy Apostle Dean Salim. May Ahezaah's peace and other blessings be within everybody's presence.
Another blessing be within about your presence today.
All praise is due to our Lord Most High, this new name of Ahezaah for this day and time. We want to thank you, the viewing audience, for tuning into our program. We have a lot of things jumping off since we've been on this air. Many things we dealt and talked about between the two fields, the two arenas of politics and religion. Many things have been sent down since they've been on post, religion and politics. And many people are the mindset that there's no separation of church and state. Same time, they don't want to mix church and state because they want to keep what the Lord's laws is separate from what the man-made laws, what they stole or incorporate from the divine laws. So Allah is showing us this day, this name of Ahezaah, that this day, many things are happening now on the world stage that they trying to deal in situations and solutions, but they're trying to leave the Lord itself out. Brothers, anyone want to join in this time with this conversation, because it's a very important topic this particular evening.
Lord Holy Apostle, if I may, the separation of church and state is supposed to be a noble idea, you know, to, what was it, I think historically to stop tyranny in the past, from when the church, when the religion was more powerful in Europe, but they didn't want that power over them. But that was, if you look at, if that was a corrupt state at that time, then that's a whole different thing than the whole idea of separating Ahezaah, the reality of the Supreme Lord and entity, as a controlling and as the guiding factor over all of our affairs. So it's actually, I would from my point, or from a point that I've been given in your presence, messenger, is that it's fruitless for the governments and the policy makers to sit down and try to create policy or to solve solutions, you know, find solutions, particularly to the problem of the inner cities, without recognizing the reality of Ahezaah, recognizing the reality of that faith that was the source of those religions and the ways of life from past times and the presence.
Well,
I would say.
Well, you know, presently as it is, they say they don't want to mix church and state, you know, but every time you look around, one of the presidents is mentioning God.
Right.
Now, I know that we don't refer to the Creator as God, you know, at least a name God, but we do refer to it as a title, which, you know, we've been instructed that God represents one of power and one that is feared. Right. And one that is worshipped, you know. And so they mention God in connection with religion when it's appropriate, or when not when it's appropriate, but when it's, how can I say this, when it's to their benefit. Yeah. You know. But what I look at today is that they talk about so many problems, you know, the leaders of our communities, you know, they're trying to find an answer to the problems that we're having with all the violence. And they pointing specifically at the children, the gang members, the youth, and they try to make it seem as though hip hop is the cause of this. Right. When hip hop is not, it's not the cause of this. It's a result of this. It's all part of the same thing. Right. You know, and then you have to ask yourself the question: who let, you know, like hip-hop, the voice of the gangsters or the thugs, you know, out into the media so powerfully? Yeah. Who did that? Who allowed that? Who sit in the seats of power that allowed that? You see? So, you know, what I say to the people is that the religions of today, all of them, all the religions of today, and all the political machines of today was on post while this thing happened. and they're responsible. Now they want to take themselves out of the picture and say, look at that. You know, we have to find a solution for that. And then they want to talk to these children and give them the same old religious words and the same old political games that they was feeding them and their parents when this thing was born and nurtured and became what it is now.
Yes.
You see, so how you gonna do that? You gonna talk to a young individual on the streets right now and talk about religion? You don't want to hear nothing about religion.
Yeah, definitely.
You talk to him about politics, he don't want to hear nothing about politics.
Right.
He want to hear about how can he get some money, how can he eat, how can he get some clothes, how can, you know, get some shelter to stay warm. You understand what I'm saying? While you see the society at large falling down, and it's falling down smoothly, man. It's falling down smoothly. You know, because they're taking away so many things from the people and replacing them with other things to take their minds away from what they're having taken away from them, that they don't even realize how heavy they falling.
Yeah.
You know? So again, I say the politics of today and all the religions of today was on post when this thing happened. Now, for the past 27 and a half years, 28 years now, a little more than 28 years, I've been calling the people. I've been calling from deep in the woods, so to speak.
Right.
You know, I've been a very small voice. People have called me deluded for 28 years, insane for 28 years. Religious people.
Right.
Right? And the political machine, the agents for the political machine, have sought me out to do harm.
Right.
You see, for over the past 10 years. All right? Now, why is that? If I'm insane, why is that? Because I say that the Lord has sent me to give them the message that they're going to be destroyed, even by their own children, even by their own hands, by nature itself, by the microscopic creatures in nature, by the animals, by the elements of nature. And all these things are happening, but still, I'm deluded.
Right.
But these things are happening, and those who used to call me deluded, those who sought to slay me, to kill me, where are they? Those who spoke against me so loudly before, where are they?
Right.
The Lord said to me once, said, you're going to continue on, and you're going to speak in the same tones. Your voice is not going to get louder.
Right.
But to those who would not listen, when it put the pain on them, when it put the Christ on them and start crushing them, then your voice is going to seem as though it's louder to them. And they're going to start hearing you, start listening. You understand? And we're at a point right now where Christians don't care if you're Muslim.
Yeah.
If you got a word about the answer to the problem, they all ears. Muslims don't care if you Christian. They all ears. They looking for an answer. You got politicians who want to take people like us and throw us out there. Oh, you think you got an answer? Throw us in the hood.
Right.
You know, why throw us in the hood? Because they're afraid to go in the hood.
Yeah.
You understand? So they throw us and see how we fare.
Right.
You understand? Yeah.
True. Like
fodder.
Fodder. Exactly. I was about to say.
Fodder. Just throw us out there, you know. But the thing about it is that, you know, they don't understand the power of the reality of being. They don't understand the power of the Christ that's here today, right now, unseen, in the name of Ahezaah. You know, while they keep running around playing with the perception of the Christ, calling it Jesus, and not allowing the people to understand and to live under the fact of the matter that Jesus was a slave servant to the Lord, to the Lord Most High, to the reality. While they do that little thing, and think it's all right, and anger the Lord. Some people say the Lord's a jealous Lord. If you know the Lord's a jealous Lord, if you believe the Lord's a jealous Lord, why you want to give Jesus credit and praise for something that Jesus did not do himself?
So true.
Why you want to say that Jesus is coming back to save you, when if Jesus was to come back, he would only be a messenger again?
That's right.
Jesus could not save his own flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
That's right.
And Jesus was of the mind of Christ.
That's right.
So the identity of Jesus was lost from himself for him to be found in the identity of Christ.
Right.
So how you going to say he was the Christ when he was a tool of the Christ?
Right.
So therefore, with all this going on, you know, we can get into the Islamic thing too.
Sure enough can.
You know, about how they fared and how they fell and how they've been on posts and all this stuff is happening, and they got gangsters and thugs in Islam calling themselves by the gangster and thug name undercover, but using the name of Allah, in prison and outside of prison, knowing that they clicking and clanning, they hadithiting. Huh?
True.
And the Lord again is angry with them.
Yeah.
But see, here's the whole deal. No matter how angry they get about the messenger of Allah, Ahezaah, which is myself, no matter how angry they get about the message,
Right.
they cannot defeat the unseen. They cannot defeat Christ. By the billions or millions or whatever it be of mankind. They think they're great in numbers here on earth, but when they go to the throne of the Lord in judgment, each individual is an individual alone standing before that Lord. Where will their partners be? Where will the devil be? The devil has already been said. The devil going to say, no, I called you and the Lord called you, and the Lord is your Lord is my Lord too. Don't blame me. Huh?
Yeah.
And that's a very real thing.
Oh, definitely.
Huh? They talking about taking the guns and the violence out of the hands of the Crips and the Bloods and the other gang members. Huh? How you gonna do that if the Lord has put what's in them as a curse against you? How you gonna do that? The Lord said to me, the gang members, the children, that which come forth from these people who are afraid of them, who are suffering by them, with all these killings, they have their hand, they are like the pulse of the heartbeat. They have their hands on the heartbeat of mankind right now. It said they are like the conscience of the soul of the human family.
Yeah.
Coming down in spirit to fight against those who have gone against it.
That's right.
And they will not find relief from all the violence until they draw back unto the righteous course, to the right command, the new covenant that the Lord has sent down today as a mercy for mankind today. They will not find relief from it, and things will get worse until they turn back in repentance.
Yeah.
Ask the Lord for his mercy and guidance. Now, I'm not talking about Muhammad and Jesus and Krishna and Buddha. I was talking about the reality.
Right.
Huh?
Yes.
And ask it for his mercy with sincerity. Not until then will it draw back that spirit that's come from the soul of the humanity as a whole that is destroying mankind today.
Definitely. It's a very dark time. See, people in this world today go about in this world of amusement. The Lord said they take this world for sport and the pastime, playing, going to and fro in the folly of things. But the conditions that the Lord has set the stage in has made it quite ripe for what's taking place, and that true solutions that can be found only in the Lord Himself. Right. To bring back a balance in the whole what's going, everything is is in chaos right now. But the people act as though everything still is in order and is in balance. And we've been going out in this word, in this mission. And part of the A.H.A.D, as you explained to me earlier, that the Lord is expressing us to us now, it represents the one.
Yes.
The unity. I'm saying it right. The
unity.
The unity, you know. In the calling together of the one.
Yes.
And the people, as you explained to me, are fighting, thinking they'll come together in unity. But still, if we sit across the table, we're still at odds because of what I represent, whether it be Republican or Democrat. And we're still fighting on the boundaries, on the lines of class action or class
Or Christian.
or Christian or Muslim,
Yes, yes.
then again you still will not come together under one banner
Yeah.
of true peace,
One truth.
of one truth, and of one family. So the Lord is showing us from what is manifesting to us now that this is the day that is giving the solutions, and we've gone out to different affairs, different events, and Ahezaah keeps showing the people that the solution is always there. It's been here,
Solution is
here, and that the people have to put aside all there from the high to the low, break the caste system, so to speak, all that down, and bow down, as you said, in true submission and seek true repentance, because we have wronged ourselves and we have wronged those that come forth through us, our progeny, our children. And the people, till they turn and recognize that, as you say again, the peace, the salvation, what they've all sake they looking for, will never be found.
Messenger, you said that you told us that the people are trying to listen for something. They're looking for some wisdom. They're looking for some truth from wherever it comes from. But when they hear truth, when they read truth, when they encounter your words, Messenger, when they encounter the ancient words that are left unsmirched by translation and false and like, when they hear it, what are their reactions? I mean, it seems like they turn from it. They can't take it. It's too much for them to take. How do they train themselves? How do they prepare themselves? How do they accept truth when it comes to the movement?
Think about yourself. Think about, just imagine yourself being in an egg. In an egg that's clear. You can see through it. And you see everything going on around your life. But you're in this egg, and you feel safe in this egg. And you're constantly being spoke to. You're being brainwashed, trained to think and to perceive things in the way that you are told to think and to perceive things. And you look out at the world and you see it's all what, you know, all the shadows and what have you, and it's made there for you to accept. Now, you may see something that you believe is wrong, but you're told that it will take care of itself. Now, you see things happening. You see people's eggs getting crushed. You know, all your comrades around you who is in this egg too. And you see the children of your comrades who escape the egg get out there and get killed right before your eyes. And you see the terror aimed at you. Now you're alarmed. What do I do? And someone comes to you and says, you must crack the egg and get out of there and come into this world that's been taken away from you or that's been hidden from you to survive. How would you react when you only know this egg? When you was born and raised and nurtured in this egg that's made you feel safe. Even though you were in fear, you still trust that egg.
Right.
If they would only leave that egg alone, you'll be all right.
Right.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the state of mind that many of the leaders are in. Many of the civic leaders who want peace and want this thing to stop, but they're afraid to go out to the Crips and Bloods and to the violent areas and talk to the people. Many of the so-called ministers of the religions who claim that, you know, they believe in the Lord Most High, but they're afraid of man, you know, so they're not going to bow to the commandments of the Lord. They're going to bow to their fear of their so-called enemies, which is the children, and they're going to bow to their fear of the leaders, the powerful politicians who are at the forefront of the division, saying, look at the Muslims and look at the Christians. They're fighting a war together. This is a Christian war against a Muslim war. All this divide and conquer. The same way they accomplished attaining this country from the natives who were divided themselves, they conquered them through that division. And they're still dividing and conquering. They divide and conquer wards. They divide and conquer communities. They divide and conquer churches. They divide and conquer, you know, sects of the Islamic religion. You understand? And the Lord, the united Lord, the one who unites, the united one who is ever united in all its attributes.
Right.
says that this here is not going to continue to be. It's going to send its wrath down to destroy those that will not find order, those who will not come back to it within themselves.
Right.
So how you gonna snatch a gun out of a man's hand and take the violence out of his heart if you can't reach his mind to let him see what he needs to see?
That's right.
How you gonna deal with it? Are you gonna sit back and let them kill all our children until it get to your family like what the jinn has done? Now the jinn is alarmed. And the jinn people are people in power who you may not ever see or hear about. Billionaires, you know, they run things. Well, now it's up in their homes.
Right.
Now they're alarmed. And they want to reach out. How can we stop this? Stop your buddies, stop your partners from allowing it to happen.
Yeah.
You know? You got control of the media. They want to get the drug dealers and the drug users, but they don't get the drug suppliers, the ones who supply the drugs into the country, into the communities. You see, it's all backwards. It's the same thing with the guns.
Yeah,
They want to get the young men who protecting them their lives, because some of the gang members, they get involved in things out of the first law of nature, self-preservation.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
But there's an element that's out there too that's supposed to be protecting and serving and keeping things right that's not right.
That's right.
Now, who gonna classify them? What color do they wear in the red, white, and blue?
That's right.
Yeah.
Where they stand?
That's right.
They think that they're hidden by the fact that they don't believe in the unseen, or they don't fear the unseen, Lord. But in that, they think that they're unseen. They think that they're hidden. They think that we're doing things right and we can put our best face forward, and we're protectors of the community.
You know, the Lord Most High, Ahezaah, is all powerful. You know, do you remember a time when you thought you were smart and you couldn't see yourself? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember a time like that myself. Ahezaah make people believe that they're unseen.
Yeah.
And they do what they do. And then it allows people to be placed in fear who see them doing wrong, but they're in such fear of them, making them equal to the Lord Most High because of their fear, that they turn their eyes away and act as though they don't see it.
True.
Huh? They're afraid to stand up and talk. They're afraid to stand up and talk against what's going on.
We're talking about the common people. We're talking about
common people, yeah. We're talking about common people. We're talking about some of the religious leaders, some of the political leaders. You know, people are people. It don't matter what title you have.
That's what I was,
You know, you think that if a man becomes the president of the United States of America,
right,
the greatest country in the world, so-called greatest country in the world, that because he's president, he has no fear anymore? That he has arrived in the power of the Christ? That he has no fear? Even he has fear. He may try to hide his fear, but in the loneliness of his room, every man knows fear.
That's right.
There's no man that don't fear something. The Lord Most High will make you fear something.
Yeah. So true.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't want to recognize the fact, and many of the people that are in positions of political power will not want to mention back again the fact that we're still at a genocidal war.
Yes, there's a genocidal war.
They don't want to talk about that.
No.
They try to cover over it. You know, this violence taking place, it's not just an inner city thing, not just an urban thing. It's a statewide, it's a worldwide, because there's wars everywhere. There's fighting always going on somewhere against people, though, the disenfranchised, the less fortunate, against those who are the people that have the more the people that are in power. So again, but it's particularly targeted, like he said about the guns, for example, or the drug that are being infiltrated in our community. inundated daily that people don't want to show. You say they want to go from the bottom up.
Yeah.
Why they never go from the top down?
They need to go
in these
from the top down.
situations.
How ridiculous it is that you can hire someone to lead you, place them in power, and then they write up a contract where you can't take them out of power regardless of what they do. Only their comrades, those in equal with their peers, can impeach them. And they all in cahoots together. What kind of ridiculous, idiotic, ironic society this is? This is a ludicrous society when it comes to the power of the people. They said this country is for the country, by the for the people, by the people, and all this kind of job. And then it's a lie.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lie. I remember I used to think about the marches on Washington and what have you, and back in the day, and I used to wonder, okay, they're gonna march on Washington. But Washington tells them what time they can march, what streets they can march up, how long they can stand there marching and protesting, and when they got to leave.
Right.
What kind of march is that? Who's in power? Who's in control? What psychological effect do that have on people?
Right.
You understand?
Right.
And then after the march is over and things are still happening, then what?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So the
conditions are still
people
the
in
same.
power got them. They just got them locked down by these demonic contracts.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm
Yes, sir.
saying? And they are demonic contracts.
Oh yeah.
You know, when they could take the word of the Lord and say, we're not going to mix church and state, or we're going to change the words of the book, the divine books.
Right.
We don't like the way that speaks about our people, so change that. Stop saying that. Take it and translate it differently, and then we'll support you. You know, what kind of crazy men rule this world that would tamper with the Lord's words?
Yeah.
You know,
Yes, sir.
when a messenger of the Lord is slain, if his life is taken, regardless of who takes it, that was by the Lord's will. No messenger has been taken away from this world of mankind until his work or her work was done.
That's right.
You see? But people live with the illusion that, oh, them people killed this one, they'll get me. And you think back to Moses and Jesus.
Yeah.
Both of them was tied up being warred against politics and religion.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
And
right.
here it
That's
is
right.
today. People think that it's different.
Yeah.
Politics and religion is screwed up, and they messing the minds of the people up.
Right.
Now they got a sect of the people, the youngsters, that don't want to hear it no more.
Right.
Right?
That's right.
And they saying that, and they making all kinds of compromises in the churches and masses. They just going against the Bibles and the Qur'ans and all the holy. This gets going against them. They making these new rules. You know.
Yeah.
Anybody can come in and under any condition, long as they sit up and they pay the tithe and whatever, and and then they take a person who say, well, the Lord say you shouldn't do this here or you shouldn't do that, and they say, you're wrong. You're taking away their rights. They have a right to be that, even if the Lord tell them don't do it in the book. Do you really believe that the Lord said that? The prophets, do you think that the Lord gave the prophets? Man, there's some questions about that. You know, Jesus loved John, and they have turned the word love means sex.
Yeah.
Like he sexed John, blasphemous.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But then, what can you do when you get certain elements in leadership in politics and in leadership in religion that's of those particulars
Right.
that they say it's all right?
Yeah.
Huh?
That's true.
Everything is out of order because the Lord allows it to be out of order. And it's going to let it go further and further and further out of order. You can't hurt the Lord. You can't touch the Lord. You understand? The unseen Lord is right here, right now, all about you, man. And people can't relate to it.
Yeah.
So they think it's not here. They don't believe it's unseen. Some people want to say, oh, it's up there on the throne. The Muslims is going astray like the Christians. They say, well, heaven's up there and hell's down there. Now, you got scientists all in the earth saying, well, I can't find the devil down here.
Exactly.
And then you got the cosmonauts and what have you going up in outer space and say, well, God's not up here.
That's right.
So now where's God and where's the devil? Huh?
Who of you want to do things right? to keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed and attain